Alright, well happy Memorial Day one and all. It's Memorial Day. It's Monday, May 30th, 2016 here in the U.S. And it is a day that we've set aside to honor our war dead, honor the fallen. It is very separate and distinct from Veterans Day, which is in November, the 11th day of the 11th month, where we honor all veterans. This day is a day consecrated to those who have fallen. Okay. We're trying out a new prop here. We have the APC 12.6 prop. APC 12.6. And yeah, this thing is wonderful. I've already flown a battery, a pack through her. And I like it. I really do. This is kind of a bad day for video. Because the sun is right where the wind is coming from. So in other words, I'd have to kind of, I don't know, it would get in the camera quite a bit. So we're just going to keep her out front here and do some simple things. This plane's really trimmed now, about a 60% cruise, I believe, maybe about 70. Yeah, she's doing great. I really like this prop. It's I don't know, it just feels different. I was flying it on that this old wooden 12.6. Feeding it a little bit of rudder there, she's dragging. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and, there you go. That's at about 65%, about 70% cruise. She'll go all day like that, kind of like a little drone. She still has a little bit of a right tendency. I'm trying to figure that one out, but not much. Not much. Now with the wind, there you go. She's dropping off a little bit because she's kind of almost a point and shoot now. Now that she's trimmed, she's really almost a point and shoot. Like an old pattern plane, it just sort of goes where you point it. All right. Well, we're just gonna go ahead and practice some stole landings and all that. Takeoffs. Okay, I'm running a 1 notch of flap, which is half flap right now. Hold off, and there you go. So yeah, I'm really liking this plane. The more I fly it, the more I'm really liking it. Okay, the wind, it's still not cooperating with me. That's okay. With these big tires and that landing gear, it really makes it kind of fun to drive around. Alright, half flap again. And here we go. Let's go ahead and fly the tail first. And there she goes. Clean her up. Back off the throttle a bit. Enter the pattern. Alright, yeah, I just nudged just ever so slightly a bit of down elevator, a little forward pressure on the stick. That gets the tail flying. And you do that nice tail high wheel takeoff even with the flaps. Alright. Yeah, she's flying really nice on that prop. So I'm really liking the way this plane's flying now. I really am. It's a good, I'm flying a 2200 old 35C in there. We're gonna go full flap right now, just out of the blue. Going to go ahead and bring her down a little bit of a steep approach. Okay, roll the throttle back on, bring her up, and there we go. Alright, we're slowly getting this. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go to half flap. I got my flap set on a 2-second delay. So you'll notice that my plane's not ballooning that much. She does if I'm not careful, but I'm still getting used to the airframe. I'm still getting used to the way she flies. But there's half flap. Notice it took a while to do that. Took a while to come up. Okay, there's half, there's full, 2-second delay on both settings. Yeah, so we're going to go half flap, helps her break off the grass a little bit better. Let's get that tail flying, and then there she goes, bank into the pattern, clean up the flaps, and we're flying. Yeah, fun little plane, it really is, fun little plane. I got 2 minutes left on the clock, which should be pretty good. We're going to go ahead and demonstrate a stall. We're going to go ahead and, okay, we're off the throttle, and we're full up. We're full up. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. All right, throttle, recover. All right. Now notice, okay, I don't know if you saw that or not, but right before I added throttle, I let the nose drop. Huh? Okay, so what you want to do is you want to give the plane adequate time to resume flying again, and you want to get it into a good attitude, not a stalled attitude, okay? So a stalled attitude would be where the wing exceeds the critical angle of attack, lacks sufficient airspeed, stalled. Okay, wings not producing any lift. Well, effective lift. It's still producing lift, but not lift to such an extent where the aircraft is considered to be flying. Okay, if that makes sense. All right, we're backing up the throttle. We're rolling on full flap. Notice she didn't balloon. Of course, I was down below about 40% throttle, maybe 30. We're in a good glide slope here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and let her settle. All right, working that rudder. Okay, bringing the flaps up as we taxi back. Okay, holding up elevator. These are all tail dragger basics, guys. Tail dragger basics. All right, and there we go. Okay, Durafly Tundra, day 3, and it's Memorial Day. Okay. And there you go. And as I explained, well, maybe I didn't explain. One of the things you want to do is you want to back off all the digital trims. I had put in 6 clicks of left aileron on the maiden flight. I think an additional 2 or 3 on the second flight. And that night, which was Saturday night, I got home and then I applied those trims mechanically. Okay, so I put those trims in mechanically. You'll see she has some left aileron. Don't know if you can see that. Okay, so she has some left aileron dialed in, and then I backed those trims out of the box. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, just wing it, Durafly Tundra, fly in 5 minutes, and I've got no trims on the box. I backed those out. I applied those trims mechanically. Just a good habit to get into, guys and gals, folks. Anyway, and still, surprisingly, the elevator and the horizontal are I mean, they're just perfectly level, and no trims applied to the rudder. And as you can see, it's just straight as an arrow. This thing flies really, really good. Yeah, I mean, wow. So, really starting to like this plane. I really like this 12.6 prop from APC, and lo and behold, that ESC, and I don't know what's going on there. I'd really like someone to kind of come on and help us out here, but what's going on with that ESC? Why is it so hot? It's about 86 degrees ambient. I've got a really good breeze going on. I'm flying a 25C, 25C, 3S 2200. It does the same thing when I fly a higher C rated 18. But you know what? Let's stop all that. The C rating on the battery doesn't matter how hot the ESC gets. It doesn't dictate that. The ESC is only going to pull what it can out of that battery. The battery, if the battery is a lower C rating, it's the one that's going to pay the price. The battery will pay the price. It will get warm, it'll get puffy, it'll get whatever. I don't know. That's weird. Motor, not hot at all. Huh, strange. It's getting very warm in there. I don't know. Anyway, hope somebody has some answers. You know, maybe there's some smart folks on the thread and can say, hey, the reason why the ESC is getting hot is because of blank. And here's another item for open discussion. You know, I know what's going to happen. Someone's going to come on the thread and they're going to say, well, it's because the FETs, they get hot because you're only working 60 to 70% throttle, and that, you know, traditionally is where the ESC actually pulls the most resistance and this and that and yada yada. And an ESC is actually more efficient when it's full throttle. And I've seen that all over the threads, and I've seen the science behind it. I've seen everything behind it. But here's the problem. I've never seen a plane stop, ever, because the thing was flowing around at half throttle. When do you see ESCs fail? I don't know. Maybe when they're maxed out for a minute or 2 minutes straight? Yes, that's when you see ESCs fail. When they're full throttle. So I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know all this stuff. I am smart enough to know what I've seen. I remember one time at a dry lake bed, I saw a Pilatus, I think it's a PC-12, the little low-wing trainer plane. I saw a beautiful one. It was like an ESM, I don't know, 100-inch plane, 12 cells, whatever it was. I know it was a 120 amp Castle Creations ESC. 120 amp. The pilot flying it is actually a review pilot for, I think it's either for Model Aviation or RC Model. He's published. And yeah, he was flying that thing around at full throttle, doing these high-speed passes, and it looked beautiful. I mean, it was boogieing. I mean, it really was. Until the ESC melted and the plane stuffed about 200 meters from where we were standing. Yeah, and I mean stuffed. And we got up to the crash site, and I was with the group. We went out to the crash site, and that ESC was melted. I mean, it was hard to even recognize that it was the ESC. And I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not playing. This is story time. We're all sitting around the campfire. We're sharing a brew, and we're talking, and that's kind of like the way I want my videos to be, by the way, that we're just at the flying field together, and we're just sharing stories, and we're flying and having fun, But yeah, I remember when that Pilatus went in, and it was a demo plane, so I don't know how he explained it to the editors, but that thing just went in, done. Crater in the dry lake bed, and that ESC was melted. Why? Because he was flying it at full throttle for like a minute straight. So I don't know. Anyways, again, I'm not that smart. I'm sure that there's a lot of folks out there. Let's try and get an answer to this, because that really concerns me, and I love the plane. I love the plane. God, it hurts, It's got so much going for it. So let's figure out what's going on here, and heck, maybe I just put in a Turnigy Plus 60, Maybe that's how we fix it. I just put a Plus 60 in it and call it a day. And I might still do that, because I would really hate to lose this plane because the ESC fries. And I've even cut the plastic off, hoping that'll fix it. In any event, hey, there you go. More Tundra flying. There's more to come. Sorry, don't mean to ramble, but I do think that this is something that we need to get to the bottom of, because that could lead to a catastrophic failure. I don't believe it has yet. I don't believe it has. But it's a concern of mine. Okay, we'll frame it in that way, that it's a concern of mine, and I'd really like to know what's going on there. And if anyone has any ideas, please post them up on the Tundra thread, and let's try to work together to make this thing even better. Because, boy, I'll tell you what, Stuart has a winner on his hands here. He really does. So let's help Stuart out in figuring out what's going on with this thing, if there even is anything going on with it. Maybe that's just the way it is. So, in any event, hey, hope you all enjoyed the flight. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the discussion. And happy Memorial Day to all. Cheers.